We're ready.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for being here. My name is Joe Bryant. I'm a fundraising co-chair with John Wright for TATT at the Top. Sit on the board and been involved with this organization for, I don't know, 8-10 years going back. So love the organization. Been around for a while. Share a couple quick updates before I pass it to Todd to introduce our speaker. But TATT at the Top's been very busy this summer. They've had a variety of meetings, issues such as behavioral health, homelessness, transportation. They've hosted 53 regional engagements with more than 1,600 participants. After taking a brief sabbatical in July, they're back in August with a regular Upstate Connect Friday. It'll be at Anderson University. This will be in person on August 16th. It'll be a tour of the new athletic facility and hear about the start of their football program as well. Celeste is including a registration link in the chat for that. During the June TATT chat, Craig Sharton shared information about the Upstate Downtown Academy monthly outing beginning in August, where Craig and attendees will explore various downtowns across the Upstate. These sessions are being limited to no more than 25 attendees, with first session will be held on August 15th in Greenville with Mayor Knox White. And then the September will be in Lawrence on the 19th. And Celeste will be posting links in the chat for those as well. And just a reminder, we are only a month away from the September 11th Upstate Summit at the Greenville Convention Center, Maximizing Our Future. You can find a link to that and all the details, speakers, breakout sessions on the website. And I'm sure that link will also be provided in the chat as well. Please do. If you have not signed up, please sign up. Love to see you there. And if you have the ability or the team to get a table, grab a table while you can. I think tables are up until August 15th, Justine?
That's correct. Thank you.
Ability to reserve a table. So look forward to seeing everyone there. On the funding side, just this year, we've added 15 new funding partners, including 2 brand new leadership and level partners. You can see the list of all of our partners on the website and on the presentation slide that will be coming up. And in the chat will be, again, a link to the website where you can see all 100 plus funding partners. And for those on here, if your organization is not a current funding partner, please get with us on getting a ticket for the summit. One of our biggest events of the year. It's a great event to come see what we do. And then we're also hosting a potential partner event in Spartanburg on August 26th. And again, all these links to all these different events will be in the chat, or you can find them at the TATT at the Top website. Now moving on to the speaker, it'll be my pleasure to introduce Todd Horn. He is our chairman, and he will introduce our speaker today.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Well, good afternoon. It's a beautiful day in the upstate of South Carolina. Appreciate everybody taking the time to join us, and thank you, Joe, for those updates. Again, I'm Todd Horn. Had the honor of serving as chairman of TATT at the Top, and excited to offer or introduce our speaker today. For almost, had to go back and look, for almost 20 years, there's been one minor league affiliate here in the upstate, and that's been the Greenville Drive. And I know, living in Spartanburg, I've been a big fan of the Drive for a long time and will continue to be a fan of the Drive. Jeff Brown and Craig and their family have done an incredible job with that organization. And obviously, with my regional cap on, I'm going to continue to support them and all their efforts they're doing there in Greenville. But we also have another team coming next year, and that is the Hub City Spartanburgers. And we're excited to welcome them to our region and our community here in Spartanburg. And There's been a lot of excitement around Spartanburg as a community around this new team and what they're going to offer. Spartanburg as a whole. Yesterday, actually, the schedule was announced. The first game, I think it's April 15th. I'm sure Tyson will share that, but I think it's April 15th. It's our first home game. And then I think our first series, we're going to welcome the Greenville Drive over April 22nd through the 27th here at Fifth Third Bank Park in Spartanburg, which will be a lot of fun to have Greenville and Spartanburg coming together to celebrate their communities and celebrate our region through baseball. So excited about that. So with that, I'll introduce our speaker today. Tyson Jeffers is the general manager of the Hub City Spartanburgers. Tyson was born and raised in Mississippi. He attended Mississippi State University for his undergraduate and graduate degrees before moving to St. Paul, Minnesota to start his career in baseball with the St. Paul Saints, which is the AAA affiliate of the Minnesota Twins. He spent 8 seasons with the Saints before moving to New York to join the Hudson Valley Renegades, the high A affiliate of the New York Yankees, where he spent 3 seasons and represented the organization as the assistant general manager and then general manager. Tyson has been proud to call Spartanburg home since November of 2003. In his free time, Tyson likes to stay active, watching and playing sports, working on home projects, hanging out with his chocolate lab Griffin, spending time with family, and traveling. So help me welcome my buddy, Tyson Jeffers.
Hey, everybody. Thank you, Todd. Appreciate that. And if you hear any weird noises while I'm talking, it is my chocolate lab Griffin. He's also under my feet. So sometimes he moves the table that I'm sitting at. So just be prepared if things get chaotic. But thank you for the opportunity to chat with this group. It's always great to fill everyone in on what's happening with our team and answer questions that anyone might have of how we expect it to impact the great city of Spartanburg and county of Spartanburg and the upstate as a whole. So hopefully I can answer those as I talk through what we are trying to build and what we are building and some of the progress that's happening right now with the ballpark that's being built in downtown Spartanburg and the expectations of how we'll fill that not only for games, but for other events and entertainment that will last all year long. So I'll share my screen and jump into it. Bear with me as I try to make sure I click on the right window. Is that showing up for everybody? Let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. All right.
Yeah, it's up now.
You're good? Okay, great. Thank you. So a little bit, so I might repeat a couple things that Todd mentioned, but in May, we introduced ourselves as the Hub City Spartanburgers. We will be the high A affiliate of the world champion Texas Rangers, and as the high A affiliate, we will be in the South Atlantic League, which is the same league as the Greenville Drive and the Nashville Tourist and many other teams that are around the Southeast and all the way up into the Northeast. The last team that I was with, the Hudson Valley Renegades, was also in the South Atlantic League. And the last game that I was with the Renegades was in the championship against the Greenville Drive in Greenville. And I stood there with Eric Dranko, their GM, as they beat us and won the championship before accepting the job with the Spartanburg team and then moving to South Carolina. So I love the Drive too. Big fan of what they do, and they do a fantastic job for baseball and for our industry and are very professional. And so we're excited to create a healthy rivalry with them. Hopefully it stays between the lines and we'll let the players battle it out on the field, and we'll do our best to make sure that we're good community partners and doing things both in Greenville and Spartanburg that has a true impact to all of our fans. But couple things I mentioned, we'll be the high A affiliate of the Rangers. We will call Fifth Third Park home. So Fifth Third Park, if you haven't been downtown in the last 8-10 months, the site of the ballpark is located right on the backside of the AC Hotel. So in what I think would years ago be considered kind of a dead zone of downtown Spartanburg is now being revitalized to be the home of our ballpark, and then being further developed to include other entertainment, retail, businesses, and other things that will make that corner of Hub City the new hub. And so we're excited to be phase one of that project, and to be kind of the conduit that brings people back into the downtown space and make sure that we're seeing that trickle down effect of, as people are coming to our games, they're spending some extra time in downtown at the restaurants and bars and other shops that are nearby, and having a stimulus on the economic growth and impact that it can have on Spartanburg and Spartanburg County. I think the big thing that at least I'm recognizing as a newer resident to the upstate is the people of Spartanburg have become accustomed to having to take their dollar elsewhere to get their entertainment, whether that's over to Greenville for the drive, or to Asheville, or even up to Charlotte, and taking it other places. And now that this will exist, it will be right in their backyard so that they can keep it at home. So we're excited to be a conduit for that, and a contributor to that. So we broke ground in late October, early November. And since then, we've made a lot of progress on the facility. I'll jump to construction here in a second, but I want to show some renderings and a fly-through video of what the ballpark will look like and what you can expect, and some of the things that we'll do in the facility and the offerings that we'll have for all of our fans that come. So I'm gonna turn this music down a little bit and talk over it as it flies through. But you'll see that the concept of this facility is one that is molded from many different facilities across the country. Our goal was to take the best of the best and put that into one spot. And so some of the things and the decisions that we made when we started to design and construct the facility is making sure that we had the right types of experiences for the groups of people that we want to attract and we want to include in the facility. And part of that is making sure that we're accessible to every group of people possible. And some of that is more on the premium side, and some of that is on the economic side, like our berm tickets, keeping those at $5 or $6. So a family can come with, their 3 or 4 kids and not have to say, Johnny can't go to college anymore. And sometimes that exists, especially at the major league level. So we want to make sure that we're being true to our word and our mission of being affordable and family friendly and offering those options. But we also know that the business community is vibrant in the upstate and is continuing to grow, and to have the ability for businesses to be able to come out to the ballpark and entertain their guests and entertain their staff, and to do different things here at the facility, whether that's on game day or on a non-game day. We wanted to make sure that we're offering those opportunities. And when you see the club space, and I'll go through some renderings, but we see the club area that exists, and it's more of a premium space for watching the ball game and enjoying different events. It's also a space that will be rentable on non-game days to host wedding receptions and galas and charity events and community events and other things that might not exist. And those event centers do exist in Spartanburg and in the upstate, but it was built and constructed at a square footage that would allow us to accommodate a number that is a little bit more unique. Some are bigger and getting closer to hosting groups of 1,000 people, and some are on the smaller end of hosting groups of, up to 100 or 150. And we're right in the heart of that, of being able to host groups within our club space in the 500 range. But beyond, I would say, those types of events and those types of groups, we are always looking at making sure that we're maximizing our facility beyond game day. So we'll play 66 home games per season, which leaves 299 days out of the year that we need to fill the ballpark and execute events and other entertainment for people. And so part of our goal is making sure that we're working as a collective group, not only within ourselves internally and our ownership group, but with the community and the upstate and the businesses around here to make sure that we're creating offerings that are going to be attractive for everyone and bring people to downtown Spartanburg. So we're already in the works of planning concerts and comedy shows and festivals that will be executed on non-game days here at Fifth Third Park, for us to create the perception and create the realization that when you drive by the ballpark, there's going to be something happening in that, whether that's a high school baseball game, a college baseball game, professional baseball game, or some other type of entertainment. And when we talk about concerts and comedy shows and other things that can be more mass scale, when we do open the field and allow people to go out onto the field to enjoy entertainment, we can welcome between 10 to 12,000 people within the facility. So it creates a really great venue for us to host some pretty dynamic entertainment opportunities. On game days themselves, will be a little over 5,000 fans that we can get in the ballpark, whether that's in the fixed seating bowl, up in the premium spaces like the clubs and the suites, or in our group areas in the berm space. So we feel very comfortable that with the excitement of being the new team and building a new facility, that we'll be able to fill the ballpark every single game and make sure we're creating a really good experience and energy within the facility so that people want to keep coming back. And that's always going to be our goal is we want people to come once, but we want them to have such a good time and to create such good memories that they want to come back for another game, 2 games, 3 games, 4 games. And that's, again, where the affordability aspect comes in, is if we gouge everyone on the first time they come, they're probably not coming back. So we want to make sure that we're keeping our prices affordable. And that's always from a ticket standpoint all the way down to the beers and the hot dogs and everything else that someone might buy when they come into Fifth Third Park. So we will have 3 main entrances. 2 of those are located more on the downtown side of the facility. Our left field gate would be closest to the AC Hotel. And then our right field gate would be right at the corner of Daniel Morgan and West Henry Street. So that's more on the, I would say, the retail side of downtown, which is where the parking would be. So we look at those as kind of our main entrances. Part of the build of Fifth Third Park is reducing the friction points that exist. And when we say we toured a lot of different facilities to make sure that we built it in a way that would reduce those and make sure that the experience from the second you park your car to this second you get back in your car to go back home, the things that we can control, we control them in a way that's going to put a smile on your face and make sure that you're having a good time. And the last thing we want to happen is you'd have to stand in line at a concession stand for 20 minutes to get a cold hot dog or a stale beer. We want to make sure that it's a good flow. And again, that's where the quality price points and the efficiency come into how we're constructing the facility. So there's going to be a lot of amazing things that go into this ballpark, and there'll be an evolution that you'll see over years, the first couple years of the ballpark, that allow us to listen to our fans and say, hey, how can we get better? How can we improve? And we're always going to take those into account so that we can make good decisions to continue to progress. And in 20 years, similar to the drive, they're still very successful. In 20 years, we want to say, hey, we made the right decisions from day one and listen to our fans and made the right decisions in year 3 and year 10, and to make sure that people keep coming back and they keep having an amazing time. So all of this will kick off in April of 25. We're knock on wood, if we keep having days like today, I'll start to get worried. But right now, the construction team and the development team is in good spirits, and they're very confident that everything is going to get done. And when we open the gates on April 15th for opening day, that everything will be in place and everyone's going to have a great experience. So I've said it publicly that if I have to go put folding chairs out in the ballpark just so people can get in and watch baseball, I'll do that. And you can hold me to that if there's any delays in the construction. But I'll jump to what the construction looked like from the beginning. So this is right around groundbreaking with the raw land. And this is a quick 20-second time lapse to show the progress that they've made over the last 9 months. Once it hits the end, you'll see that most of the structure of the facility has gone in and is in place. They're pouring the last few walls right now to make, I guess you could call the full bowl of a ballpark. And starting in a couple months, they'll start to level out the playing field, put in the irrigation, and then in late November, they'll actually roll the sod on and let it root so it can be ready for April of 25. But I do have some images to show to give you a close up of what the construction currently looks like. I took these last week, and I think there's a couple in here I took a few days ago, but they've been working really hard. In some cases, they start at 3 a.m. to do concrete pours and make sure that they're staying on time. Over the last week, they've been putting in the seeding bowl and starting to pour the steps of the seeding bowl so that the next thing that goes in is going to be the seats. And once the seats go in, then it's a real ballpark. So there's a lot of things that are happening around the facility that are really making it take shape. And when you pass it, you can now look at it and say that's a ballpark, and I see what's really happening there, which is really exciting for us. And next week, there's an event that's taking place. It's called a topping off ceremony. It happens with major construction where they put the last piece of steel in. And once the last piece of steel goes in, it's a milestone for the construction team. And so on Tuesday, we'll celebrate that as a group with the workers on site, and they'll sign the beam and it will get put into place, and we'll cheer, and then they'll keep moving along. But things are really in a good spot, and we feel really confident in that when the players start showing up in March of 25, that everything's going to be in place and ready to go. So right now, as a organization, we're very focused on making sure, like I said, filling up the ballpark. So selling season tickets, working towards selling our groups, which is some of the different areas throughout the ballpark, selling events, and starting to build out our schedule. And now that we do have a 2025 schedule, we can start to build out what the non-game days look like, and then building the entertainment and starting to create the policies and procedures of how we can execute and provide the best customer service and entertainment for our fans when they come. One thing about minor league baseball is we do understand that not everyone is a diehard baseball fan, and it's our job to make sure that when they come, there's other things happening throughout the facility that are going to be engaging and entertaining for them to have an enjoyable experience. I think that's what is going to make us be successful for the long term. So we're always looking for fun ways to entertain and do different things throughout the facility. And so when you look around and you walk around, there's something different for everybody, and we're able to attract a wide customer base. But yeah, we're doing a lot, and in some cases it's hard to recap everything that's happening in 15 or 20 minutes without going too deep down into a rabbit hole. But I do want to give some time. I know usually there's a few questions that people like to ask, whether that's about construction, about what to expect, how we do things. I try to be as transparent and open as I possibly can. So I definitely want to leave some time for people to ask questions.
It looks like we may have a few in the chat.
Yeah.
Georgia said, do you have any internship opportunities for our local colleges? Can our college students do any volunteer service hours leading up to the grand opening?
Yeah, so we will, as we get into 25, have internship opportunities, whether those are more on a seasonal basis leading up to the season or ones that carry into the season. Typically what I've seen as far as experience, the best experience goes with internships. If you can get interns, let's say they're at a local college or university, that can start in February timeframe. So they get a couple months leading into the season. but then they stay on through the summer, then they get both some of the off-season experience as well as the in-season experience, and that creates the best picture that we can paint for anyone that might be interested in a career within sports, specifically minor league baseball. So yes, I think it's going to be really important for us to work with the local universities and have those opportunities for the local schools first, so that we can work with those and create different programs that are going to cultivate talent with us. I think, as with any business, talent can be challenging. So we're always looking at ways to cultivate that talent. And the sooner we can get someone that might be interested into the mix and see what working in baseball really looks like, the better we can evaluate and train and help grow somebody to live kind of within our industry and be someone that finds a career role. When I was both with St. Paul and in Hudson Valley, we had pretty in-depth programs. And when you looked at the makeup of our full-time staff, I would say 99% of those people did an internship or some seasonal job within a sports team before they took on a full-time role. And that's what I've seen be the most successful. So yes, and right now I think we're open. If you're with a school, we're open to having those conversations and figuring out what is the best path and plan to not only market those opportunities to the students, but to be able to have the opportunity to sit down with any students that might be interested and have a one-on-one conversation.
All right, we got good question here. From Celeste. Will y'all be playing the Savannah Bananas?
That is a great question. So the Savannah Bananas are their own thing now. So the best way to describe them now is they are the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. So they have their own rules that we, as the Hub City Spartanburgers, can't play to. Like when they hit a foul ball, if someone a fan catches it, then it's an out for them. So we obviously can't play by those rules. But our ownership group, Diamond Baseball Holdings, they own 30 plus teams across the country. They're working on creating a dynamic relationship with the Bananas. So our hope as a new facility, and Jesse Cole went to Wofford, so hopefully the connection of him can help us get a game, whether that's the Bananas. I know they also have the Firefighters now and the Wild Things, or the Party Animals, sorry. So there's definitely opportunities. And again, when we talk about those other events, those are the exact events that we want to host at Fifth Third Park. So yes, we're driving really hard to try to get them in the ballpark in 25.
Looks like Tom from Spartanburg asked the same question about internships. And then it's a good question. Could our college baseball teams be highlighted at some of the home games? So will there be college games played at the park?
Yeah, so we'd obviously love to work with all the colleges and universities that have sports programs, not only to have those and honor them at our games, at Spartanburgers games, but when we're on the road or before our season we couldn't do it in 25 just because of the build of the ballpark, but in the future, the February, even March, leading up to the start of our season in April, it's a great time for us to host college baseball games at the facility. And we're going to work really hard to hopefully be a facility that a lot of the schools, especially the northern schools, look to come to, because down in South Carolina, it's a much, much better weather than up in New York or New Jersey or Ohio or Michigan. So they're always looking to come south to play some games, and to be a facility that, say, a Wofford plays a Notre Dame, or USC Upstate plays University of Michigan. Like, those are things that we're always looking to do. And we'd obviously love to be a host if Wofford and USC Upstate wanted to play, or Clemson and USC Upstate, and have that local connection, but then have maybe some of the larger universities come to us to play baseball, whether that's in a one-off type of game, or we're creating some type of college showcase tournament that can exist where we have multiple games happening throughout a weekend or a week. So yeah, that's the hope for sure. I see the next one is, would they be paid internships? Yes, unfortunately, we can't do unpaid. I shouldn't say unfortunately. I think the government has said like unpaid internships are no longer a good thing for anyone. Yeah, everything that we do from a staffing standpoint was a paid opportunity. I would love to say hello to Coop. So I'll tell Cooper you said hello.
Other questions for Tyson?
I guess I got one thing. As you get closer to opening, should folks just be going to your website for, the potential career fairs and how to get tickets for games, maybe opportunities for organizations and companies to get boxes or have outings? Is that the best source?
Yeah, the website is the catch-all for sure. So hubcityspartanburgers.com. We have an employment page, so people can go on there and see what jobs are open right now and what opportunities are to come. We also have our season ticket, group, and single game ticket pages that give information on when certain tickets will be available, as well as the different opportunities. And then anything else that's going on will live on our website. So if it's other events that we'll be hosting at Fifth Third Park, we'll obviously promote those on our website. You can also, please follow along on social media. We try to have fun on there and show our personality, but we do share information kind of first there before we post it anywhere else, as well as on our website. People can sign up to be part of our newsletter, and they get everything in real time as we put something out. A couple events that are coming up for us in the next, I'll say 6 months. One of them is a month away. I think it's the 8th, right? Yeah, 1 month away on September 8th. We will be hosting the World Series trophy. The Rangers are going to bring that into Spartanburg. So we're working on building an event for that. So if you have any interest in seeing the World Series trophy and getting your picture with it, and seeing our staff and having an opportunity to chat with us in person, we'll do something fun around that. So stay tuned on some of that information. And then over the next couple months is when group tickets will go on sale. We'll have more season ticket plans, like half season ticket plans, mini plans, and then single game tickets will go on sale in early 2025.
Okay. And just a couple more. What is the food vendor situation? Y'all teaming with local restaurants?
Yeah, so we'll work with a third-party vendor called Oakview Group. They'll kind of be the managers of the food and beverage space. It is very important for us to make sure that we have the local flavors within the ballpark. So we will work with local restaurant groups and vendors to make sure that that happens, whether that's on the alcohol side, like beer, or that's on the food side. And especially that we are the Spartan Burgers, food and beverage will be a very important piece of our experience, and to make sure we get it right. No, if someone gets a bad hamburger, I think we'll probably get crucified for that. So we'll make sure that it's a really good experience. But yeah, we have a lot happening in that space, and a lot of strategy conversations are happening right now. And we get a lot of inquiries from local restaurant tiers about how they can be involved. So we're having those conversations currently.
Well, if you guys need any taste testers, let us know. We've got some folks that would be happy to.
We definitely, as we create the Spartan Burger, we need a panel of judges to figure out what's going to be the best hamburger to serve at the ballpark.
I like
Happy to be a part of that.
We talked about college, university potential. One question around K-12, maybe some high school championships or whatever. Are y'all looking at that as well?
Yeah, one thing that we did both in St. Paul and Hudson Valley is we had great relationships with the school systems. I want to make sure that that gets replicated. part of that relationship was allowing the local schools to play at least one game at the facility every single season. So in Spartanburg, the 7 school districts, we probably start there. And hopefully there's some potential to expand that to other counties and schools that might want to come in throughout the upstate. So on that side of things, yes, we'll definitely work with the schools, and that's more on the high school level. When it comes to as you get elementary school or younger, we'll have days throughout the season since we start in April, in the kind of towards the end of the school season. We will have a couple day games that we do that are specific for kids. So then we work with the schools to create a very affordable ticket package that the schools could come out and experience a game, and we would build out a curriculum that there's some fun educational pieces, but in reality, it's more for them to get out of school and have a good time at the ballpark. So yeah, we'll do all of those types of things.
Very cool. And I guess got a couple minutes, and the last one up here, concerts. I know y'all are looking at other opportunities other than just baseball, obviously, to host in the stadium. Is that on your list as well?
Yeah, the concerts are going to be a big thing, and making sure that we get larger major musical acts is going to be really important. A benefit that we have, our ownership group is owned by an organization that also owns the William Morris Agency, which is the largest talent agency in the world. So they have direct access to talent, and with the venues that they own across the country, they've already started to establish plans to route talent throughout different facilities within their group. So we will be a beneficiary of that, which means that we'll have access to some of the best talent. I can't promise Taylor Swift, but I can probably say we'll get some B artists, so people that might have existed for a while, or maybe they're up and comers. But the success of us having concerts and starting that from year one is going to put Fifth Third Park kind of on the map with promoters to say like, oh, this is a viable option for us, and that will lead us to being able to get even better talent to come through, and something that we can rely on consistently, and our fans and the people of Spartanburg can rely on for us to have every single year for sure.
Okay, we got a couple more. Do we want to go through those, or do we need to wrap up, Tyler?
I can hit on them pretty quick if you want me to. The Girl Scout, yes, we will have a Scout night. So a lot of teams do that, and so we will definitely do a Scout night. Typically, that's through a ticket package, and we'll start reaching out to the Boy and Girl Scout groups around the area so that they have opportunities to buy some group tickets, like in a block, for the parents to come out. Usually what we do too is after the game, kids can spend the night out on the field in tents. So we're still working on the pieces and what date that would be, but yes, we will have that night. The community has the team fun to engage with and give back to Spartanburg. So we're working on building our community efforts. Part of that is hiring a community focused person, someone that is going to be engaged with local nonprofits, doing fundraisers, making sure that we're engaged with different organizations. And that's not just from here's some tickets and a t-shirt to have in your fundraiser or your auction. It's us having sweat equity out in the community. And that starts with the Spartanburger staff, including myself. And then that trickles down when the players are in town, them being engaged in that. Part of Fifth Third's naming rights deal is they will be a leader in that space. So they'll be a sponsor of our community efforts, which gives us the opportunity to go out with them and have more impact both on the financial side as well as the actual, say, numbers of people going out and cleaning up streets and being engaged and serving the community. So that's going to be a major piece for us as far as us when we are building our culture. Community is the number one thing. And would you be interested in having a disability project? 100%. And one of the things that we have been very mindful of in the build process is making sure that we are not only meeting but exceeding all of the requirements for anyone with disabilities in all different shapes and forms. And some of the things that we are working on is building spaces within the ballpark that are sensory safe and create, again, a good experience for anyone that might have a disability or some type of special need. And we want to make sure that we're accommodating to them. So yes, Kim, and if that's if you're more of an expert in that space, we'd love to have a conversation with you because we're not experts. And so we rely on the community and people that are experts to help us make sure that we're building something that is respectful to that community. So we'd love to chat with you about that if possible. I think that's all the questions.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Well, Tyson, thank you so much. I know I'm sure I speak for everybody on this call. We're excited about the Spartan Burgers and what they're going to bring to our region. There'll probably be some people like myself that'll have a drive hat on and a Spartanburg jersey, Spartanburg shirt on the night we play the drive, just because of my regional mindset. But it'll be a great rivalry between our two communities and a healthy one at that. So excited to get going in April.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right. I'm going to now turn it over to our assistant director, Justine Allen. She's going to do a resource update for us. Justine?
Thank you. Thanks, Tyson, Joe, Todd, everyone. Make sure you stick around. We are super excited to hear from Phil Clark. He is with Just Say Something. And I love their tagline. It all starts with a conversation. So we'll have a conversation about what they do. Celeste is going to share his slides. So Phil, if you just say next slide when you're ready,
Okay,
we'll get you started.
perfect. And while you're bringing that up, Tyson, it's very exciting to have that come into Spartanburg. A whole lot of things were running through my head as you were talking about opportunities, especially in the nonprofit space. So I would love to connect with you at some point to be able to have that conversation. Just say something.
Yes, sir. I have your email now, so I'll shoot you an email so we're connected.
All right, cool. All right, well, I was going to say real quick, it's hard for things for me to talk real quick about Just Say Something, just because there is so much, but I'll be brief. And next slide, please. We're fortunate to be celebrating our 40th anniversary this year of an organization in not just Greenville County, but in the upstate. We were formed back in 1984 by a group of parents concerned about their kids, high school kids, smoking and drinking. So fast forward to now, parents are still concerned about that, but there's so much more that families are having to face now that we didn't have to face back then. Part of it is because of cell phones. Part of it is, the other pieces of technology we have. Families are facing new challenges. And so our goal at Just Say Something is to help families have those conversations at home or wherever. And so next slide, please. So we have programs, and all of our programs are free. All of our programs are available in English and in Spanish. And so we have programs that we can sit and say a family has a young child and they're having a hard time getting that child to go to bed at a consistent time every night. We have people that can help coach you through that to help make that an easier transition instead of always a fight. We have support groups for parents. We have programs from a child's birth all the way through high school graduation for either the parent caregiver, the family as a whole, or just the kids. And so we're very connected with DSS and a lot of other organizations again, across the state. We may be housed in Greenville, but by no means do those boundaries, county boundaries, keep us in Greenville County. And so we have our youth program that we do. Again, it's a free program. So we do flag football with kids, we do basketball with kids, and we do soccer. Actually, a little story about soccer. When we first started this, right before COVID, there were several young men that started with us, and they are now on their high school soccer teams. We've been able to take kids we took 70 to the Carolina Panthers fan event over at Clemson last week. So we took 70 kids that would not normally have opportunity to do something like that, took them there. We've taken kids to Atlanta Falcons preseason game. And so we try to give those kids the experiences that they wouldn't have access to otherwise. And so, again, all of our programs are mainly in Greenville and Spartanburg County, but we have connections in all the upstate that some of them provide the same programming that we do. Next slide, please. A couple of initiatives that we're leading. Air Preserve is one of them. We work with local businesses or municipalities to help pass smoke-free and vape-free ordinances. We see a lot of vapes, especially in schools right now. A couple of things that parents mainly don't know, and I'd be willing to say kids don't know either, is that the vape devices themselves are biohazard waste. And we're finding that people don't know what to do with them, so they're throwing them in the trash can. And so those are ending up in our landfills. The other piece of that is now with the science that they're doing of the producers, one vape can have as much nicotine as 25 packs of cigarettes. It's just unreal. And our state legislature, unfortunately, passed a law that local communities cannot pass a law to ban sale of flavors. So we have bubblegum flavor of vapes, we have watermelon, mango, all those sweet things that they're not advertising or marketing to kids, but yeah, they are. And so we work with, so in Greenville County, only the city of Greenville and Simpsonville have smoke-free ordinances. There's no others in Greenville County. In Spartanburg, I know the city of Spartanburg has a smoke-free ordinance, and there may be one or two more. So our goal is to have more communities covered by smoke-free ordinances, to where right now I think we're up to 72 communities across the state are covered. So if your business or if your group or if you want to get involved a little bit in local politics, reach out and we can help you with that. Our next slide, and this will bring me to the close for my part. There's a lot more. If you want to know more, I'd love to sit down and discuss with you. So it's the Power Collective. So I know a lot of you have heard about the opioid settlement funding. And so in South Carolina, it's managed by the South Carolina Opioid Recovery Fund. We have, for now our second year, I just found out last week, we are funded for 2 years now. And this current grant that we're going to start September the 1st, we received over $1 million to raise awareness and work in our communities to, one, reduce the stigma but to also increase resources and information for people to get help. So as we know through research that the more awareness you create, use goes down. We've done that with tobacco and some others, so that's what we're going to focus on in the coming years. So you'll see a lot about the Power Collective, not just in Greenville, but not just in Spartanburg, but across the state, because we are taking this statewide. So there's a group of organizations here in Greenville. Just Say Something, we are the fiduciary for this particular project. Rise Prevention, NAMI of Greenville, Mental Health America, Greenville County, Unity Health on Main, Greenville County Sheriff's Office are making available lockable prescription bottles to the community for free. What we know with lockable prescription bottles is that our first year we received funding to give out 40,000 of those. 40,000 lockable prescription bottles in our communities within a year will keep 2.2 million pills from being pilfered and will have an economic impact of just over $29 million. And so as we look at return on investment, we hear a lot about, oh, we need more treatment. We need more treatment. No, we need more prevention. We need more awareness and we need more education. And so we have a movie coming up here in Greenville on Wednesday, August the 21st. It's going to be at the Camelot, and the name of the movie is Fentanyl High. It was made by a high school student out in California about what fentanyl has done to his community. So we're making this available for free, and we will have a role play and then a panel discussion afterwards to interact with the community. We are also going to be, as part of the Power Collective, a presenting sponsor for the Hispanic Heritage Month that the Post and Courier is working on right now with an event that will take place in Greenville on September the 27th. And so this is just a tad of what we do. And if you notice, the website for Power Collective is different than our Just Say Something website. To go here and to check that out, you go to powercollectivesc.com. And to find out about our tobacco work, you will go to airpreserve.org. That's us in an acorn nutshell. Not a pecan nutshell, but an acorn nutshell.
I'm gonna have to think about that one. It's like well, the pecan is like lungs, but the acorn is just a little. Okay, I
Just a
think
little,
I'm getting,
just a
yeah,
little.
little bit. Not like a hazelnut. Not a hazelnut.
Right.
One of those big ones, Brazilian nuts. That's it.
Yeah.
The
yeah,
one that nobody wants to eat in the can.
In the pack. Yep. Yeah.
Thank you, Phil. I know you do so much more, and Phil, I have to say, is involved with our behavioral health collaborative. And it's so much more I could say about that too. Sorry, you were going to say one more thing.
Well, I was looking at some of the questions that what is the point of not allowing big tobacco got to our elected officials and said, you know what? Don't let the local communities pass laws that would take our products out of the hands of kids. And so our state legislature last year passed a preemption that local communities cannot ban flavors of vapes. And we would love to change that. And then how do we join the Greer Smoke Free Coalition call? Email me at philip@justsaysomethingsc.org, and I can connect you with my team, and we can certainly get you connected there. We are working with Greer City of Public Works and REWA here in Greenville. One thing about disposing of medicine, don't flush. And then also with vapes, don't throw those away. It goes into our landfill and then enters our water system. So lots going on.
Thank you, Phil. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay, Joe Bryant.
Yeah, thank y'all. Thank Phil and thank Tyson. Wonderful to have y'all. Justine will be sending out a meeting recap as well as a link to the presentation, I believe. And mark your calendars, if you will. Our next TAT chat will be on the 12th, 3 p.m. And it's a discussion extending the Swamp Rabbit Trail. We'll have Matt Flegge with Executive Director of Upstate Greenways and Trails Alliance, and Ty Hawk, Director of Greenways for Greenville County. Again, that'll be in the chat, but you can also find it at the TATT Top website. And hope to see y'all next month on this, if not before.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.